Business should be good. You don't have to cut corners to build a great business. There's no reason at all. I do think success is about tenacity. I think you do have to have a very defined vision and goal and dream, and I think you have to drive to get there. Is that real and sustainable success is not about money. It's about purpose and it's about impact.
Welcome to the #1 platform for all things AI, leadership, and entrepreneurship. In today's action-packed episode, we learn from Adrian Gore, the founder of Discovery, one of Africa's largest insurance companies. Adrian started with nothing but a passion and purpose to make people healthier. Today, his company grosses over $10 billion annually. If you are looking for inspiration to start your business or pursue that idea, look no further. Here are Adrian Gore's top 10 success tips on how to build a successful company. Number 1, embrace the challenges.
It's never easy. There's always, we started out, Barry will recall, we had a great product. We had no context of scale. We came out of big insurance companies with distribution channels. Things never sold. So it took us a long time to get going. I remember we got to 1,800 members and we added a whole lot of members and we kept...
When was that, remember?
This is probably March, April, June 1993. We couldn't get past 1,800. It was like a mathematical paradox. We kept adding people. We started 1,800 members. I don't know.
I think you're allowed to, that's why.
Probably. But I guess there are things like when the laws changed in the entire healthcare financing area in 1999 with the Medical Schemes Act. When virtually everything we did, from medical savings accounts to how we priced risk, all of it was made illegal. And those challenges go on. We've got all kinds of stuff. Brexit in the UK. There's consistent challenges. Personally, I've found, as hard as it is, your best moments in the building of the business is just embracing the complexity and the solutions, Barry, to those difficulties, what kind of propels you forward. So it's the ability to embrace the problem, to go into it.
Number 2, be urgent.
The second attribute, and a lot of research shows us, is that success is about being urgent. You've got to get moving. You mustn't waste time. And the cognitive error that people make is that they believe that time is linear, but it's not. It's logarithmic. You're sitting here with the rest of your lives ahead of you. You've achieved a huge amount. This is a very, very important milestone, I can tell you. It's a remarkable gift you've been given. But you kind of think the rest of your life is a long time. I'm here to tell you that it isn't, right? Mathematically, you could work out that if you are, 20 or 25, I'm assuming people here are 23 to 25, crudely, you might think that you have lived a third of your life. 25 divided by 75. If you don't get that right, I'm concerned about the degree being given. But 25 divided by 75 is a third. So you've lived a third of your life, you've got 2/3 left, right? But the error there is that you assume every year counts the same. But they don't, you see, because time has a perceived quality. When you're a year old, a year is 100% of your life, right? When you're 2 years old, a year is 50% of your life. When you're 3 years old, a year is a third of your life. As you get older, the years get shorter. I've yet to meet anyone who doesn't agree with that observation. So to rework how long you've lived, you shouldn't work out 1 plus 1 plus 1 to 25 divided by 75. You should do it my way. 1 plus a half, plus a third, plus a quarter, all the way to 1 over 25, divided by 1 plus a half, all the way to 1 over 75. That's how long you've lived. And I hate to tell you, what the answer is? It's not 33%, it's 80%, right? You've lived a lot of your perceived life, and I'm not here to disappoint you or depress you in any way. I'm just telling you, the difference between success and failure is a sense of urgency. You don't have time. And in my journey, I started Discovery, I was 27 years old, just a few years older than you, and I've been flat out for 25 years. Flat out. I think me and our team here who's with me have achieved a huge amount. But I can tell you, if we were not urgent from the get-go, I think we would have collectively missed the opportunity.
Number 3, success is about tenacity.
I do think success is about tenacity. I think you do have to have a very defined vision and goal and dream, and I think you have to drive to get there. And I think unless you have luck on your side, which I think is not a reliable partner, frankly, unless you have luck on your side, my sense is that you do have to be tenacious and you have to be driven. But I would say I would say that you have to have a passion for what you're doing. And if you really love something, it appears to others that you're obsessive, but internally you're doing what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? So in a sense, I think outside, I think those attributes are important. Internally, I think you need to be doing something you want to do.
Number 4, quality shareholders is fundamental.
And that's when it started. But I'll tell you one thing, something I've learned. Quality of shareholders is a fundamental attribute of success. There was no intelligence in my choice of where I went to. I don't know what Lowry saw, but there was a meeting of minds, I think, and I think the R&B culture and the long-term mindset, there was never, in fact, I remember starting out, we battled to sell initially. It took a long, long time to get traction. I remember saying to our small board, this is just not going to work. And these guys said, no, it's going to take time. No, we're not going to rush it, you know. And I think those attributes were fundamental to success. So this thing evolved from the get-go around a purpose, around quality, not around money. And in fact, I didn't build a business plan for the first year. We were actually in play. I know that's very bad advice to you hardened financial people. There was no business plan. I mean, it's bizarre. The plan that I worked off initially was qualitative, quality of people, nature of the product. It was a written document. No spreadsheets, no capital. Quite amazing when I think back on it. And I think maybe just being for, I'm a sample size of one, what we did, maybe different, but the start was about values, quality, purpose, impact. Great story, but I've learned something. Quality of shareholders is fundamental. You have the wrong shareholders at the start, pushing you to get going, make money, they're going to exit, they're going to flip, this, that, and the other. I think you're finished.
Number 5, build in difficult times.
I mean, I've got a lot of strong feelings about this. When you say, in reality, that's being positive is in the face of reality. You know what I'm saying? It's easy when it's easy. You know, it's when it's difficult. I mean, maybe just pick on what Barry said. I think what we learned early on, 1992, was that it's in difficult times that you build. It's in difficult times where assets are underpriced, opportunities are overlooked, people are distracted. So this is a time now where people are worried. This is our time to build. So I'm often asked, we're building a bank. The only time that you shouldn't be doing this if you really expect Armageddon. If you don't, and you believe the world is cyclical, you must always be building in difficult times, because when the cycle turns, you'll be in a good place. I mean, I'm very outspoken about South Africa. I don't minimize all the massive problems of inequality, of poverty, of Eskom, of crime. We have all that stuff. But it's important to say that, I ask a lot of people this, is our GDP bigger now than it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago? Most people say no, not per person, not in dollar terms. It is. The country's bigger, it's richer, poverty levels are lower, HIV levels, infection rates are lower, murder rates are lower. So I hate to sound like, Bill Gates or Hans Rosling, these guys or Steven Pinker, if you read his stuff. The world is a much better place than it used to be, and I think one of the tactics of life is the ability to not to ignore negative issues, but to seek positive signals. And I think Barry had to read it in 1992. I remember well, one of our colleagues had a hijacking at home it was a terrible crime in their house. We were living through very difficult times. It's those times that I think you need to build. So I don't think you should take a binary view about South Africa. I think you should say there's a lot of challenges, but there's a lot of positive stuff. And I think you should find those positive signals and you should build. That's the time to build. And when the cycle turns, and it will, you'll be in a good place. That's why we're here. That's what we did in 1992, frankly.
Number 6, focus on purpose and impact.
Is that real and sustainable success is not about money. It's about purpose and it's about impact. The rest tends to follow. And therefore I urge you, whatever you do, I urge you to follow your heart, I urge you to follow your passion and focus on purpose and impact. That is the most important thing. It is hard to be sustainably successful if you're just chasing money or some counterfeit. You need to focus on purpose and purpose and impact. I think that competence and technical skills and all of that is critical, but those are commodities. You can hire them in. I think purpose and values and having something that society wants is critical. I think nothing fuels a business more than positivity. A belief in what you're doing, a belief in kind of the product you're selling, and I think without doubt, integrity and honesty. You can't fool people. It's got to be built on good foundation. But I really do believe in purpose, values, and positivity. Those kind of intangible factors trump competence.
Number 7, build something society wants.
Unless you have something special to offer to society, I think you can get going, but I'm not sure you can really scale. To really build a big business, I think you have to have something that society really wants and needs. And therefore, I think goals and vision are important. But I'm a believer. You ask me, the most important attributes of success are things like being positive. I think it's critical. It talks to this. The ability to set goals, the ability to be urgent and to get things done.
Number 8, the founder's mentality is critical.
I'd add something to this. The power of the founder's mentality is critical. The founder's not us, I'm saying our team. The founders, there's a lot of work done on this around the founder mentality. As soon as you lose that, and they call it things like the fog of governance, and statistics count more than people. As soon as you lose that, you've lost your way. And I think what we've tried to create here is a startup owner, manager, founder mentality organization with scale. It's kind of, if you can achieve that together, you've got a lot of power. So, I think that discovery, I'm very proud of its governance, its scale. It's very institutional. But as Barry says, it's like a start-up founder mentality in what we do. And I think if you can get the best of both of those, you've done well. What you don't want is a small company with a bureaucracy. You want a big company with a start-up mentality.
Number 9, you don't have to cut corners.
Business should be good. You don't have to cut corners to build a great business. There's no reason at all. So there's kind of underlying narrative that businesses somewhere have cut corners. You need to, I kind of grew up, my mother was who I love dearly, she taught me a lot of good values, but is inherently extreme left-wing. He thinks business is inherently bad. The perception of, well, you've done something wrong. The concept of business doing somehow cutting corners to succeed is not true. I think it's a bad, very bad mindset. And I think that to an extent, business reflects government. Often we talk about business versus government. Government is a homogeneous group of people who are voted into power. Business is not. Business is a heterogeneous group of companies that have succeeded by the rules of the game. They're a different, amorphous, massive, changing. Discovery wasn't here 20 years ago. We now are here, etc. Others have failed and they've disappeared. The question is, in countries that are, not all countries are good, but countries that have the rule of law, business generally is good. In countries that don't, business generally is bad. So you want to succeed in Russia, you're an oligarch. If you look at the richest people in the world, it's an obnoxious list, but it is a very interesting thing. From countries like where there's a lot of corruption, the richest are oligarchs who've got their hands on a mine. When they come out of other countries that I think there is a rule of law, they're people like Steve Jobs that have changed the world for the good. So business is not, there's no such thing as business. Business is, I think, a reflection of society.
Number 10, seek positivity.
I knew them actually when I started, I kind of feel them more now. Positivity is the most powerful fuel of all. I think when you're positive, you invest. When you're positive, you're creative. I don't mean naive positivity. No, I'm saying seeking positivity is a critical attribute of success. I think having a purpose, dreaming, setting goals is critical. And I think those things are, and I think Barry's point about integrity and ethics, I think those things are not about IQ or ability. Ironically, it's about attitude. And I think I met some people with pretty mundane capabilities, but with kind of just a sense of purpose, positivity, and a grit. They make their way. So if you gave me one attribute, ignoring honesty and integrity, that's a given, but if you gave me one attribute, it would be the ability to seek positive signals. It sounds naive, but I believe it to be true.
Thank you for watching. If you found this video valuable, please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, keep rising higher.